So this is a Vauxhall Corsa D, which has the C0050-00 fault code for the ABS system. It is for the right rear wheel speed sensor, could also be for the left rear wheel speed sensor or similar. Now in this case they had replaced the ABS sensor, but the fault still remained. When I tested the cabling, the wiring going to the sensor, there was no power. So that was why there was a malfunction. The sensor itself wasn't getting any power, so the old sensor was probably absolutely fine. In this video I'm not really doing a how-to on how to take things apart. The rear splash guard on this is held in with some little 10mm nuts. You just pull it out of the way, the sensor unclips, and I have butt crimped in a little piece of cable to repair it. Taken out the oxidized cable, which you'll see in a little bit. But I think what I'm getting at is you just can't read the code and then replace the part. Sometimes there has to be a little bit of diagnosis. The ABS toner ring inside the wheel drum on this was also absolutely filthy. So it could be that, I fixed the wiring, but there may still have been a fault because there was so much dirt that had built up now on the ABS ring as well. So you do need to do the complete job. And the whole reason why it rubbed through in the first place is because at some point somebody has removed the wiring for whatever reason and they did not put the clip back on, and the clip rubbed through one of the little studs next to it. So I've repaired all of that now, so the car should be good to go for some time. But it just goes to show the importance of a thorough diagnosis rather than just throwing parts at something hoping that it will get better, because I think most of the time it probably won't. So I've just cleared the ABS code and I've just turned on the ignition. I haven't even started it yet and the code has come straight back. See if it's the same, if it's the rear wheel speed sensor again. And it is. Right hand side rear wheel speed sensor malfunction. So we will now go and check that out. Apparently it has been replaced, so we'll go and check that out for ourselves. So I'm just gonna jack this up from the spring cup and then just keep lifting it until I've got it far enough off the ground to crawl under there and have a look. Okay. So here we are looking through the spring. That is the ABS sensor. It should have a little 5mm Allen head on it, but it has what looks like an 8mm hex. So that bolt has been replaced. So I assume that this is the side that's been changed for whatever reason. Okay, so this is a Bosch sensor. So there is no reason to assume this sensor is rubbish, so we will continue our diagnostics further. So the rear brakes freewheel way too much. They need an adjustment. However, will the customer go for it? Dunno. Not really that fussed, that is their choice, but I would definitely recommend that they adjust these rear brakes. That is all we have for the Vauxhall Corsa tonight. The wheel speed sensor has a recurring fault when it's plugged in. When you unplug it, the hard fault goes away. There are a couple of other engine codes which sort of go away as well. One sec. Dog. Sit down. There is some minor play at the driver's side front. And that's it. Everything else seems in order, apart from the fact that both rear wheels freewheel way too freely and the handbrake needs adjusting. He's a good boy. This is probably pretty likely to be the problem, isn't it? See how much dirt is on the ABS ring. I've just rubbed that part. The code for this car is obviously for the wheel speed sensor at the rear, and it makes sense that there was a malfunction because the wire, I've actually cut this, it wasn't totally severed, but you can see here where it wore through. See where the green is? That's where the copper's oxidised. So that is likely the problem, but obviously we won't know until we crimp in this new piece and then plug everything back in and take it for a little test drive. So the ABS light is out. Does not come on when we're driving. And all the live data looks good.